car pursuit. Good evening. I'm Micah Ullman.
And I'm Cher Calvin. Tim Lynn is following the chase in East Los Angeles. We believe he is on the 60 freeway right now going at very high speeds. Tim?
Oh, yeah, very high rate of speed. He was in East L.A., but at a 90 to 100 miles an hour, now coming into the Montebello area. As we continue on, we've already passed the 710 freeway, starting to climb the hill here out to the east. It's a stolen vehicle that was picked up by undercover units down in the Carson area, came northbound on the 110, and then continued up the 110, picked up the eastbound 10 freeway, and then came up to the East LA interchange. And now you see him just weaving through traffic there, just has his parking lights on. And right now, LAPD is in a tracking mode with it. LA County Sheriff's helping out as well. You see him just blowing by traffic here as we climb the hill here towards the Montebello area and into the Whittier Narrows. But you can see he's just holding that number one lane. Very high rate of speed. As I said, a stolen vehicle came out of Carson, but as we came up the 110 to the East 10, East LA interchange, now to the East 60, he's showing no signs of slowing down. This Charger, Oler-style Charger, just flying along here. It's black in color. It's very hard to see on camera. The LAPD helicopter was overhead. Night sun malfunction. Now they're asking for LA County Sheriffs to come in with their night sun and light it up. But they're in a surveillance mode right now. There are units trailing a little bit behind, just kind of keeping an eye on it. LA County Sheriffs is also broadcasting to their folks, letting them know what's going on. CHP as well has been notified, so all agencies around this are going to be in position once this guy comes off the freeway or crashes here. He's really at a high rate of speed, weaving through traffic. So, folks going along here at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour can have this guy go by at 90 to 110 miles an hour. But you see he's just kind of weaving his way along and making his way around all the traffic that's at normal freeway speeds, using all lanes to do that. But right now, LAPD is still the primary in charge. LA County Sheriff's has taken overhead to use their night sun, but yet has not put it on yet. As you can see, just a very dark silhouette of that car, a black Charger, as they were telling us. And now we're coming over the hill, down, dropping into the South El Monte. As we approach the 605 freeway, is going to be the next major freeway we have, letting the allied agencies around, along with CHP, to know his location as we continue here, going past the 605 here, continuing east, working our way out into the San Gabriel Valley. But they'll just kind of keep an eye on him as they go along here and simulcast on all the other frequencies as we move. And so everybody will be in position, ready in case he comes off that freeway. But there's really no reason for a ground unit to get right on him. Sometimes they even turn off the night sun and just have everybody shut down, hoping he'll slow down. But in the past, we've seen that doesn't work very well, and they just continue on their speed and just really fly the mail on the freeways here. But coming up to 7th Street here, eastbound 60 freeway, coming into Hacienda Heights and working our way out. The next freeways we come to will be that 60-57 combo that comes over the top of the Brea Pass. Well, once he gets there, if he turns south, that'll take him back down into Orange County. But if he continues north, it's Pomona and east from there. But he's showing no signs of slowing down. The car seems like it's in good shape. He's driving it very carefully, and as far as not making any abrupt lane changes or any kind of snap maneuvers that would cause him to go out of control. Well, CHP's strategy is they just try to run them out of gas because they have, multiple agencies or multiple offices out here, and they'll just hand off from office to office as we continue on. I just now heard on the scanner that CHP is going to take over. I see CHP coming up behind him now as we widen out. You'll see the police helicopter, the police unit coming in. That's a CHP a CHP unit with a LA County air unit overhead. And now officially CHP is in charge. And they'll do what I was talking about is that switching off of offices. So like right now we're in the Baldwin Park office area, and as we continue on, we'll pick up into the valley area, the Inland Empire. CHP will take over, and then they'll just continue running. They'll just run and keep handing off unit by unit. The normal pursuits is 2 units and 1 supervisor, so you'll see 3 cars behind them. And those will just continue to switch off from division to division or office areas to office areas as we continue on. So they're not going to run out of gas. They're just going to hope he runs out of gas or just decides to give up. But at these speeds, a pit maneuver or a spike strip's completely out of the question, because there's just no way you can get in front of him to get that spike strip out at this speed. And there's no way you're going to do a pit at this speed as well. So you see him just really flying the mail here at least at 90 to 100 miles an hour. I'm indicating at 110 up here in Sky 5. So he's just using all lanes now over to the number 4 lane. And here comes that LA County helicopter, keeping an eye on it as he comes out down the right shoulder, passing that big rig. Very hazardous move there. And it looks like we're coming up to an off ramp. We'll see if he picks up now, back out to the number 4 lane. So as he makes that move on that right-hand shoulder, you have all kinds of debris on that shoulder, all kinds of rock and sand. Anything could cause him at this speed to go out of control. So as he continues on here eastbound, coming up, I'm trying to look ahead here, see if we're approaching Azusa yet. Yeah, I think we've just passed Azusa. And the next intersection up here, the main intersection, will be the 5760 combination here. It's where the 57 comes out of the Orange County, combines with the 60, and then for that about 2-mile section there will be together, and then from there we'll see which way it goes. But he's holding out there now, slowing down just a little bit, coming up to a little more moderate traffic. You see CHP coming up on him, weaving his way around. Now the CHP officers aren't going to get right on his tail. They're going to do their best to stay up with him, but they're not going to try to match move for move on him, because they just put themselves into harm's way doing that. They'll just try to continue on. And as being a former police officer in pursuits like this, the problem is he drives by, he gets everybody excited, they look up, see your lights, and then they start moving on you. So as a patrol officer in a pursuit like this, you really got to pay attention, because people are going to start really weaving around. And as you see this CHP officer, he's staying that far left, because everybody normally will go to the right. So he's holding that left-hand lane, just kind of keep an eye on him, staying as close as he can without having to weave through cars. So doing a great job there, that lead CHP officer hanging into that number 1 lane or HOV lane, and the suspects using all lanes to get around traffic. So right now we're coming up on the 5760 interchange, and they're calling about 85 right now, but I can tell you he is really a little bit above that, just the way he's passing those cars now. Much power I'm using just to stay ahead of him here. But coming up to the interchange, let's see which way it goes from here.
I mean, it's just really hard to watch, because he's going so fast, and maybe they're calling 85 at one point, 95, but it certainly looks like he's going well over that at some points. And there you see the CHP in pursuit of him, along with LA County airship with that night sun over this blacked out Dodge Charger as he's weaving in and out through lanes. What we understand is it's actually originated in South LA at 9:50 this morning. It's a stolen car, and he's really made his way through town. He started from there all the way. Now we're in Diamond Bar.
Looks like he wants the 57.
Mm-hmm.
It's 57 south, yeah. 57 south here. We're making that transition. This will take us over into Orange County.
And Tim, is there any idea how many people are in this car? We know we had a good shot of that passenger side a few moments ago, but really hard to say.
Yeah, I have not got it close enough to see in there, and I haven't heard the CHP or sheriffs talk about any type of occupant on this thing, whether there's how many passengers might be in there. But right now, we're just a wait and see. 5's dropping it behind you guys. And then as we continue on here, south 57 crawling up through the Brea Pass. This will take us down in Orange County. But yeah, if you had that shot at one point there, I really didn't see in there. But right now, it's anybody's guess is in there. We're continuing to climb the hill here, coming up on Diamond Bar. CHP still in pursuit. A couple of units behind him trailing, and then the LA County sheriffs here. But
you know, Jeff, you're right. This guy probably not that familiar with that car, and that might be part of those issues. Those headlights definitely out. So anybody looking in their rearview mirror, as you do every now and then while you're driving on the freeways out here, you're going to see something coming. But this guy, you might not. But the reds and blues, that might give you a heads up. I can tell you right now, we're going to be southbound. I believe this is going to be on the 50. I want to say 57, southbound 57. It's going to get a little hilly up here. We're going to be going up the hill and then down the hill. Right now, though, his speed's still holding about 80, 90 miles an hour. California Highway Patrol right there with him. They're going to be staying right behind him. Wait a second. Timmy, did you say it's California Highway Patrol over him as well? The helicopter is going to be, they're switching it out as I understand it, so the sheriffs are leaving, and the California Highway Patrol helicopter is going to be above them. Look at this, all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and, you know, those type of moves, those big dynamic moves, he could lose control. Probably not, but it could happen. Light traffic, I hear the California Highway Patrol emphasizing that quite a bit. But still, when he gets close to these guys right there, he's making those wild moves, just passing them. Look at that, like they're standing still. Earlier on, those two big rigs kind of blocked him in. He was using the emergency lane. Thank goodness somebody wasn't using it for what they needed, an emergency. There was no nobody got hurt. Right now, though, California Highway Patrol on the ground, staying behind him, tracking that vehicle, lights and siren, warning the public, keeping an eye on him. This guy making these wild moves, trying to stay away. California Highway Patrol helicopter now above as well, so it's all in one agency. We're going to keep an eye on it, as well as law enforcement. They're going to try to work some plans, maybe come up with some kind of magic. We've seen it in the past, something to stop this vehicle. Right now, these high speeds, pit maneuver, not going to be on their list, but maybe something else.
You know, Stu, Jeff brought it up before, the CHP is trained to maneuver and handle a chase. Regular people who are leading law enforcement on a pursuit, maybe have stolen a car that is a little bit too much for them to handle, aren't trained, and that's what makes it so dangerous. We've also talked about it before many times, that when you have an open road like this driver is on right now on the 57 now heading through Brea, it is a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because there are less people possibly affected by this driver leading them on a pursuit. But at the same time, the road is wide open, and now this person is going to put that car to use and continue this pursuit.
And it certainly seems like he's opened it up as well. It appears that the speeds have gotten even faster here. You see that the speed limit there is probably going to be 65, 70 miles an hour, and this guy is passing those vehicles like they're standing still. It appears that every time the CHP gets a little closer, he gets a little more scared, and he goes a little faster, and he's doing a little more erratic behavior. This we've seen many times before in police pursuits. Now, this is what LAPD says is a Dodge Challenger, a stolen Dodge Challenger that was seen around the northbound 110 and the 405 area. We've gone all the way through the eastbound 60. Now we're on the southbound 57. We've gone through Downey, gone through Montebello, Whittier, Hacienda Heights, Diamond Bar. CHP is the lead agency. That is the cruiser that you will see at the bottom of your screen, the reds and blues. That will be CHP. We understand the CHP chopper is overhead as well. This has been gone from a full-blown pursuit to backing off to a tracking mode, back again to a full-blown pursuit, which is what is happening right now. We understand this vehicle is going anywhere from 90 to 100 miles an hour, and you can see he's got a wide-open road. It's a little bit of light traffic, but some pretty aggressive driving. Has gone all the way from the left HOV lanes all the way over to the right, has gone in between vehicles, almost run out of room, right back to the emergency lane to get around traffic. Again, doing all this with no headlights at a high speed.
But as we swing out here, it's going to be a little bit of a long shot just for a minute as we go around the edge of the Disneyland restricted flight zone. And he's continuing at a very high rate of speed. South 57, approaching Ball Street is going to be the next street he comes to. And then through there will be Catella, and then right to the Orange Crush where the 57, 5, and 22 all come together down here. And at that point, you see right there, he's passed the unit on the side. That's how they do it. They get set up on the side of the freeway, move out, and then join up with the other units, 5 copy, and join up with the other units and let them drop off and go in because they're more familiar with their area down here. Once they get off the freeway, they have an idea where they're going on. And I can tell you now, Orange County Communications Center is coming on to their Orange County Pursuit channel to let everybody know what's going on coming into Orange County. So right now, passing the pond, the Honda Center, and coming up to the 22 will be the next freeway they come up to. Then right after that into that Orange Crush where the 57.5 comes together. So at this point, we'll have to see what his plan is, which way he's going to go. But right now, it looks like he's content to stay south here. But once the 57 comes to an end down here at the 522 area, then right now it's going to be anybody's guess. So you can see he's still passing traffic, CHP behind him. Stolen vehicle out of South Los Angeles, as you said, started just before 9 o'clock. And as I said, the CHP is in that pursuit mode where they're handing off from office to office, so they're not worried about losing him as far as the air unit keep an eye or having units get too far out of their patrol districts.
But he's been keeping those triple digits this entire ride. California Highway Patrol, they've switched out cars. We've gone through different areas, different units. Right now we're going to be in the Santa Ana area. Eastbound 55 from the 20. Oh, never mind. When he's made up his mind, we'll tell you where he's going.
And like you said, Stu, I don't think he knows where he's going. He's just going. And unfortunately, as he continues to go, as this person continues to go, they continue to put innocent people's lives in danger. That's why the CHP has to have a strategy here. That's why they have to give him a reasonable amount of space here and figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to bring this pursuit to an end without involving innocent people.
This is going to keep people safe, going to keep that suspect safe, and of course those officers safe as well. Right now though, 100-something miles an hour, stolen vehicle, as we understand it, just the driver in that car. Yeah. But that's a lot of car, like we've been talking about. Even if it is the V6, it's still a lot of car, and these guys, this guy really been pushing it tonight. You actually can see those reds and blues every now and then in this guy's rearview mirror. So you know that guy is seeing that, and you got to wonder if he's just thinking, you know what, enough is enough, let me just slow it down. But this guy, he's just keeping his foot in it, and he's keeping that distance. Just the officers just out of reach.
Wide open on a wide open highway. This is going to be West 91 Freeway in Cerritos. This is what we've been following for like the last 35, 40 minutes here on KCAL 9. This is live breaking, continuing coverage of this police pursuit. This is going to be the Cerritos area. This is a stolen Dodge Challenger. This is 115, 120 miles an hour as we're starting to rapidly slow down. Now we're getting on some surface streets, so this can be very dangerous. At least on the highway, you had all the same direction. You get onto these side streets, you got intersections, and you have somebody that's as desperate as this person is, blowing through stop signs, stop lights, and you know, there's all kinds of dangers now. And
sure, there are new tactics now that the CHP has to use. Oh, and it looks like they were. Looks like one of those tactics they just tried to use was the pit maneuver on this car. You know, when they get on the surface streets, it opens up the possibilities of what the CHP or whatever agency is chasing the person leading the pursuit.
Here he goes, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. Oh,
yes. It's just such a hard turn right there. There you go.
Look at this, look at this. Oh, nice one right there. Look at it. The other guy blocking him in. That's just coming to a stop.
That was textbook,
that was
really.
some sweet work by the California Highway Patrol. Just keeping that car pushed, keeping that rear end just enough out. You got those other officers now facing that vehicle. Now, did that car stall? Is that car disabled? You don't know. But right now, going forward, really not an option. These officers, they're not playing around. They got their guns out. They've got this area locked down. Can he back up? Maybe, but at this point, he really should just kind of bring this to an end. This is 91 and Pioneer. We're on Pioneer. First he went south, then he came north again, and then that awesome pit maneuver happened there as he tried to make his way southbound on Pioneer. Now the car stopped. Officers, weapons out. That guy not complying quite yet, but I'm sure they're going to be telling him to, you know, basically giving this guy some directions, telling him what to do. They're definitely going to keep an eye on him. But this pursuit, this part is over. This guy not in custody.
Yeah, we haven't seen any hands come out. We haven't seen the windshield or the side. Oh, here goes the door. It looks like he's coming out. Get your hands up, and then we'll see him walk to the police officers. Obviously, this has been a high-speed pursuit. Police want to get him in custody as soon as possible. I see a figure there, Stu. Is he already? So he's already on the road and he's backing up. It looks like.
Yep.
This
he's
is going to be
out of
over
the
in just a
car.
minute.
He's backing up. Yeah, and officers from California Highway Patrol giving him those directions. We haven't seen the dog out here on this one. is going to be getting down. They're going to get him in a position where they feel that even if he had a weapon, he'll be unable to get it in time. That's one of the reasons why they do these type of movements where they get him. And you can see that officer, he's got backup right there. And then one guy is going to pull out the cuffs and take this guy into custody. That's just the only person we've seen in that car. Crazy pit maneuver. This guy trying to get away. But the California Highway Patrol, as Elsa was saying earlier on, trained professionals. They kept that pit moving. They got that car spun around, and they brought this thing to an end safely. Nobody hurt, and coming to an end out here on Pioneer. I would say we're going to be in the Fullerton area, just off of the 91 freeway.
Yeah, it looks like, Stu, we may be, around Artesia. You said 91 and Pioneer area here. As we watch the CHP officers take this driver into custody, they are checking the vehicle right now to make sure there are no other passengers or other people innocent people, maybe a hostage. You never know what the situation is. Each time it's different, but they are making a quick...
So, Crass Xavier, I am all the way up. That's where we are. I am all the way up. You want to know where Stu is? You point to the sky and say, all the way up. I hope I didn't do any copyright infringements. Oh, I wonder if I can. I bet you I can, huh? Let me see. Let me see if I can re-rack it. I'm just going to re-rack it. If it lets me re-rack it. Come on. That's not it. So it's going to be right in there. And then we hit DVR. So this is the replay, guys. This is the replay. That's not the pit. I don't see it. It's not showing on Facebook yet. Then he goes back down Pioneer. He's going down Pioneer. Cruisy. Comes up, and this is where he's going to get it right now. It's coming up. I know I'm probably a little ahead than what you guys are seeing on Facebook. And there, look at that contact. And then just keep an eye on those front wheels on that car. He's got the steering wheel totally turned, and it wasn't enough. Thing comes to a stop right there. The guy that actually pit him, he took off. He kept on going. That's the second vehicle. Then the doors pop open, and then we kind of sit there for a little bit and wait for this guy to get out. Obviously, I don't think the officers really want this guy to jump out and run at him. I think a lot of this is, these guys are telling him, put your hands where we can see him. There's a lot of that going on down there. So that's probably one of the reasons why the doors usually just don't pop open and the guy jumps out, especially if he sees all those guys with guns. But, yeah, that's the end of it right there. But, yeah, it was a pretty cool, this is the thing. Nobody got hurt. Nobody's, no damage to any of the cars out there. So we can watch it. We can look at it. We can just make, how cool it is. There you go. There's the contact. Once again, I got it on slow-mo right now. And then as he's pushing it, he's trying to push that rear end out, but the guy's compensating. He's got the wheel all the way turned, but eventually there was just no more turn. He spins it, and that's the end of it. And the other car comes up, blocks him, and then the waiting game starts.